Hello, my wonderful queer viewers, or otherwise, and welcome to my final video of this year's Pride Month. And to end off the best month of the year, I want to try and do something new this time around and talk about a queer manga.
People who have been following my channel for a while know that I love talking about and analyzing queer anime. It's my favorite thing to do and they are always my most viewed and popular videos. But there are lots of queer manga out there that I would love to talk about as well, most of which haven't gotten an anime adaptation. Wandering Sun, which did have an anime adaptation but only covered the second third of the manga, and its look at trans youth through elementary, middle, and high school. My Brother's Husband, a look at queer masculinity in Japan and how it connects to family. The Bride Was a Boy, and its autobiographical story on a trans woman individual covering her youth, transition, and of course, marriage. And a big favorite of mine, My Lesbian Experience of Loneliness, and its sequel, My Solo Exchange Diary, and its hard, deep, harsh, and truthful autobiographical life of a depressed and often suicidal lesbian woman.
I have these queer manga and many, many more, but most often than not, I really don't talk about them. I might briefly mention them, but never really give them the light of day. Well, I want to change that today, and I'll start by talking about a manga whose first volume finally came in America at the beginning of the month. And that manga being Our Dreams at Dusk, written by Kuchi Kamatani, which ran in Japan from March 2015 to May 2018. Now, usually when I review something, I might talk about the person who made it, but I think I'm going to save talking about the background of the author for another time, as it will become more relevant and we learn something about an important character in the manga.
I should also note that the format of this video, with its review and analysis, is going to be structured a lot like Linkara's videos, who reviews comic books on his YouTube channel atop the fourth wall. He's a content creator that I watch all the time, and I love his videos. So the style of this video is going to be inspired by his videos. Now, of course, I'm nowhere near as funny as Linkara is. Plus, this manga deals with a lot of pretty hard topics, so my videos won't be comedy-based like his is.
I'll try to fit in a few jokes as I see them, but this will mostly just be a review and analysis. So with all that out of the way, let's dig into Our Dreams at Dusk Volume 1 and see how this manga starts.
Our story begins with a flashback. Tatsuku, did you watch a gay porno? On that day, 2 days before summer vacation, I probably died. And we get a 2-page spread showing our main character thinking of jumping off a bridge.
Yeah, I'm gonna reiterate this again. Our Dreams at Dusk is a hard manga to get through, as the first chapter has just begun and our main protagonist is thinking of committing suicide. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Our main protagonist is a high school boy named Tatsuku who contemplates jumping off the bridge, but he is stopped when he sees a shining light off in the distance. A woman seemingly jumping off from a window. He runs off to the place where he saw her jump and comes across a small building. He also comes across some of the occupants of the building. I just saw someone fall from over there. It's almost time for someone to go out on her stroll. It's here that I should note that the manga images that I'm using for the video are fan scans, back when the manga was only available in Japan. In this translated version, the mysterious woman's name is anonymous.
I personally like that name more, but I'll stick with the official English translation of the name Someone when the character's name pops up or when I talk about the character.
Tatsuku sees the mysterious woman again. So, you didn't jump? An old man sitting on a chair tells Tatsuku that the woman is named Someone, and that this place is a lounge owned by her. Tatsuku follows someone who tells him that she was watching him earlier, thinking he was about to die. But not anymore, it seems. We flash back to earlier, when a male classmate questioned Tatsuku if he watches gay porn. Do you swing that way? Tatsuku is quick to debunk this, saying that his brother was trolling him. The boys continue to tease him, though. Get real. I'm not some fag. That's just sick. Would it have been better if I had died? But someone just ignores him, and when they get to the top of the hill they were climbing, she seems to buy some ice cream just for herself. You can tell me anything. But I'm not gonna ask. Huh? I'm not gonna ask. After I finish this, I'm leaving. Tatsuku looks at someone with confusion, but begins to tell her his story. How he has a secret and is trying to keep it hidden no matter what, especially from a certain boy. Thinking about it, Tatsuku starts to have a little panic attack, stressing about going to school the next day and seeing if his secret is truly out or not. People who want to die make their way to my place. Daichi-san really was right on the money. It's past closing time for today, but why don't you swing by the lounge tomorrow? I'm sure you could get someone to listen to you. Gay people come by too, after all. Before Tatsuku can question her, She tosses him her winning stick and jumps off the balcony, flying through the air.
I don't know what is in that popsicle that she was having, but I'd like some too, please.
Chapter 2 begins with Tatsuku returning to school, hoping that everything will just go back to normal. Morning, queer! The world comes crashing around Tatsuku as the boys continue to tease him. This causes gossiping around the classroom, which only makes it worse, but some female classmates tell the boys to stop bullying Tatsuku and that they shouldn't be discriminating. But that also just seems to make things worse. I love how crumbled and close together everything becomes for Tatsuku. Everything is closing in around him and all the noises seem to be coming from everywhere. He is spiraling out of control. Anyone can like whoever they want. What? Do you actually have a boyfriend or something, Sensei? Don't be absurd. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it already! The room goes quiet and Tatsuku runs away. Going back to that previous page though, I really like this small bit. The teacher, trying to be a good teacher and dispelling the teasing, tells the students that anyone can love anyone, but is quick to laugh gay people off when teased by a student himself. The teacher and some of the female classmates try to help Tatsuku, but they are only half-hearting it.
Because they don't want to be accused of being gay as well. This is high school, and being different like that, well, might as well be a death sentence.
Tatsuku arrives at the lounge, heating up and shaking. Someone? She's not here. You're so pale. Hey, are you okay? Do you have heat stroke? Tatsuku angrily pushes her away until one of the men there gives him a water bottle and tells him that he can wait and rest here until someone comes back. The occupants of the lounge talk amongst each other as Tatsuku remembers someone telling him that some of the people at the lounge are gay. Someone returns and invites Tatsuku into her room, the occupants very surprised by this. She once again tells him, "You can tell me anything, but I'm not gonna ask. I'm probably gay, but even though I've seen people online saying that you should just be confident about it, I can't think of it that way. Summer vacation starts tomorrow. For 40 days. The rumor that I'd just been in the classroom will spread as much as they want at everyone's home. And some of my classmates are in my club, so I can't go there anymore either. It's over for me. It's all over. Why? Why do I have to live through all of you looking at me like that? Why do I have to be skewered like this, damn it? Even though I'm on the verge of death, why aren't they dying?" As Tatsuku continues to cry, someone doesn't say anything. Tatsuku cries out to her, but she finishes her work and walks out of the room, leaving Tatsuku alone.
At this point, I want to talk about and analyze someone's statement of, "Tell me anything, but I won't ask."
For whatever reason, someone seems to understand what Tatsuku is going through. What he needs right now isn't someone to talk with him to try and understand him. He needs to vent everything out. All of the anger, sadness, anguish, everything out. She is giving him the place an opportunity to release all of his emotions without fear of being judged and made fun of. She doesn't listen though because she can't say anything that will make him feel any better. Whether that's because she's unable to or not has yet to be seen. But as seen earlier, she tells Tatsuku that there are some people at the lounge who can listen to him. That someone is not her, but she's allowing Tatsuku to talk to someone who can listen and help him, if he chooses to or not.
This is one of the very strange aspects of someone, with many more to come that we'll learn about in the chapters to follow.
One of the occupants offers to drive Tatsuku home, but another tells him that he can rest on their sofa for as long as he needs to. "What's your name?" "Kaname Tatsuku." "Tatsuku. I'll give you a piece of music as a present. It's the first movement in Tchaikovsky's First Symphony. Winter Daydreams, even though it's the middle of summer." As the old man plays the music, Tatsuku slowly drifts off into a wintry sleep. "I probably died yesterday, and I think I'll wake up tomorrow, to the first morning of summer vacation, right here in someone's unusual lounge." Chapter 3 starts with Tatsuku attending his table tennis club, playing with his friend Tachibana. Tachibana knows what happened in class, but assures him that he knows that Tatsuku isn't gay. This, however, is overheard by the other club members who start to tease Tachibana. "I get it, but don't say stuff like that anymore. It's not good." Tachibana apologizes as Tatsuku looks at a taller boy in the volleyball team, especially when another club member touches the taller boy. He returns to the lounge, remembering that one of the women, Daichi, wanted his help with something. "She's not here. You're in my light, by the way." What's with her? As Tatsuku waits for Daichi, he sees someone, and is suddenly filled with anxiety, wondering if someone told the people here that Tatsuku said that he was gay. Daichi arrives and asks him to come along. When Tatsuku asks her what they are going to do, Daichi only has one thing to say: "To demolish."
Ah, a woman after my own heart.
At the site, Tatsuku is introduced to Utsumi.
My favorite character in this series. As for why, thou have to wait until volume 3.
Daichi tells Tatsuku that she and Utsumi work for a non-profit organization that rebuild the empty houses in their town. Daichi asks if Tatsuku would like to work for them over summer break and tells him that he can visit the lounge as much as he would like to. When learning that the property that they are at right now belongs to someone, Tatsuku asks about her. The truth is, we don't even know what her real name is. Is she still on your mind? You should just give it a rest, Tatsukun. Like I told you yesterday, you shouldn't get your hopes up when it comes to her. The closer you get to her, the more you'll just feel lost. A little while later, a woman named Saki joins them with provisions. Tatsuku notices that Daichi and Saki seem pretty close. Daichi wants Saki to stay away from creepy old men and even caresses Saki's face. Saki heads out. Was that your little sister? No, she is my wife. Tatsuku's world suddenly becomes frozen. Your wife? Yeah, but then I'm her wife too. Is this your first time meeting someone like me? Tatsuku has nothing to say about this, but he thinks that Daichi is lucky. And what follows is my favorite moment in this volume. He visualizes Daichi caressing Saki's face, which turns into him caressing the taller boy in the volleyball team's face. And this taller boy accepting Tatsuku's hand lovingly. And just like that, Tatsuku breaks open. Don't look. No one look at me!
Have I mentioned yet that the art in this book is fucking beautiful? Also done by the author of the manga, Yukai Kamatani, and how they managed to fit our main character's emotions into fantastical scenes of visual storytelling?
It's really impressive. The little details that Kamatani puts into the art shows off Tatsuku's constantly changing mood and thought process. We see when he reacts negatively to something that someone says to him, and it absolutely kills him inside. And this moment of Tatsuku breaking like glass, showing how fragile he is, that even one thought of him being gay for real, almost confirming it to himself, is enough to break him. Especially his fear of being judged by others or being seen as different, weird, and perverted. The art is also great in the background, when Kamatani just wants to show off some scenery, especially this 2-page spread of Tatsuku watching someone fly away.
This author and artist not only have incredible, impressive attention to detail in their writing, but also in their art as well.
In the 4th chapter, we see Tatsuku breaking apart earlier from Daichi's point of view. Later at her home, Daichi texts with someone about a gay male marriage in the US.
This chapter came out around mid to late 2015, and if you don't remember, this was around the time when state after state in America was making same-sex marriage officially illegal, eventually leading the Supreme Court to make it official in all 50 states that summer. It was one of the greatest moments of my life. But for Daichi in Japan, miracles like that just don't happen.
Saki arrives drinking after work, and Daichi tells her about Tatsuku, and how he said that the two of them are lucky. He was talking about us living together as a lesbian couple, I think. You came out to him? I just told him about us in the spur of the moment. If I'm right, that boy is... You told some kid that you just met in the spur of the moment? Daichi doesn't answer her, and Saki walks away angrily to bed. The next day, we see Tatsuku, Daichi, and Utsumi. Tatsuku asks them what the place is going to be used for after they are done renovating on it. They say, though, that they are not sure yet. Learning about Daichi's cheap place, Tatsuku guesses that she and Saki live together, and Daichi asks Tatsuku to not mention to anyone that Saki is a lesbian. She tells him that she met Saki on an online LGBTQ community. I may be this way now, but I was guarded back then, and I lied to myself by smiling. She tells Tatsuku that her old life was too hard, so when she met Utsumi in the community and he offered her a job in this town, she moved away. Once again, now learning that Utsumi might be queer as well, Tatsuku becomes stiff and frozen again. But not for long, as he trudges on this time. Back at the lounge, she tells Tatsuku about her first meeting with someone, also learning that the old man's name is Taikuko. She talks about receiving her first renovation job from someone, how she finally met Saki in person, and the persistence from her mother to get married to a man. All the while, someone seems to stare at Daichi, like she knows something about her. Someday I'll move here and tell my parents that I have a girlfriend as cute as her. At her parents' house before she moved, they watch a program that shows two women getting married. It's kind of nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice, but I feel bad for their parents. Daichi laments to herself that she wishes that she could fall asleep and wake up in the future, when society will accept someone like her and are a little kinder. A future where her parents can understand. At the renovation, someone gives Daichi a crowbar and tells her that Daichi can talk, but she won't listen. When Daichi doesn't take it, someone begins to tear down the walls with a crowbar. Hey, were you listening? Before you do a remodel, you have to plan out. Plan? Weren't you going to demolish this wall at any rate? Even if it can't be done, it'll still be more ventilated this way, so you can just make up for the rest of it later. Daichi takes the crowbar from someone and decides to tear down the walls herself, as we see that Daichi has come out to her parents and have told them who she is right now. And when it's all said and done, Daichi and Saki stand in the center of it all and hold hands. Let's make a lounge. A place where we can say what we want to say right now. A place that won't reject anyone. A lounge. Daichi talks about that ever since coming out to her parents, they've been distant from her. But nevertheless, she doesn't regret telling them, and wishes to marry Saki one day. Other than showing that I'm enjoying life to the fullest my own way, there's no other way I can convey myself, after all. Saki arrives at the lodge, though, as our 4th chapter closes.
Grab your popcorns, ladies and gentlemen. Things are about to get brutal.
Our 5th and final chapter of this volume begins where the last one left off. I'm fine with the way things are right now. And it's not like I want my parents or relatives to understand everything about me. Who's going to benefit from starting a fire on purpose? I'm not as down to earth as you, Haru-chan. You know where I'm coming from, right? If you're gay too. And almost like in some bad comedy, the record from the player begins skipping and stops as the entire room becomes silent. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm not that sort of... Are you planning on dying again? And with that, Tatsuku leaves the lounge.
With that encounter, we begin to piece together who someone is. Once again, she's someone who appeared before Tatsuku when he's about to die.
The first time was literal, when he was deciding whether or not to commit suicide by jumping off the bridge. But this time, it's more about Tatsuku dying in the inside. He knows that he's surrounded by queer individuals. He knows that Daichi and Saki are for certain gay women and that the others are something queer as well. But the second he is accused of being gay by someone else, even by someone who is also gay, he effectively denies it. He is so used to it that the only thing he can do is deny that he is gay. He wants to laugh it off like he does when this happens at school, to not be judged by these people and be different. But right when he does, someone accuses Tatsuku of dying again, denying himself on who he truly is.
He may not be attempting to commit suicide again, but he's dying on the inside, destroying the very thing that he truly is.
At a club meetup, Tachibana is jealous how perfect the tall volleyball player Tsubaki is, and that he's amazed he doesn't have a girlfriend yet. Tatsuku wonders if it's okay for him to cheer for Tsubaki at the volleyball game and wish him good luck. But just like Saki had said, what would be the point of starting a fire like that? Going back to the lounge, he comes across a young boy leaving the place, saying that someone isn't inside and is out walking. Tatsuku finds someone at the top of the hill eating ice cream again, coming across Daichi and Saki as well. It's a tradition for the two of them to come here and make up after they had a fight. Saki apologizes to Tatsuku about what happened the other day. I feel the same way, Haru-chan. The truth is, I want to have a serious conversation with my parents about us. I feel that I have to tell them that I'm a lesbian, instead of telling them that you're a friend in the same NPO as me and that we're on good enough terms to live together. I want to tell them that you're my significant other. But I'm scared. Even after listening to people talk about when they came out, it's only made me feel uneasy. My parents are old-fashioned, so they don't really pick up on what amounts to discrimination. I've always wavered between wanting things to stay the way they are and wanting to be open about it. So, I want you to wait a little while until I've gathered enough money and courage. I was also thinking, it'd be nice if we got married. Daichi and Saki hug and make up. They laugh together and smile into each other's eyes. Tatsuku, watching this, doesn't know what to say. The sight in front of him is wonderful. It's radiant, but it fills his heart with anguish and sorrow. It's so simple. I want to live happily with the one I love. That's all I want. What's wrong with wanting that? Daichi tells Tatsuku that he can decide what to do with the house that they are currently renovating. Days later, Tatsuku returns to help Daichi and Utsumi out with the house renovation. Tachiko plays some classical music to celebrate Tatsuku's new position. Piano Crescento number 1. A Tchaikovsky piece again. The only part of the house left to do is to take care of the walls. Can I demolish it? Please lend me your crowbar, Daichi-san. Alright, if that's what you want to do. Tatsuku finds the crowbar heavy though, and noticing this, Daichi gives him a much smaller one, telling him to take out one nail and one plank at a time. Tatsuku does this, takes out a nail, and looks at the light for the hole. Inside, he sees someone and Tsubaki. There's this guy I like. I fall in love with a guy. Tatsuku starts to cry as Daichi comforts him.
And now I think would be a good time to talk about the main theme of this first volume, coming out of the closet, with Tatsuku doing it within himself and to other people, this being represented by the crowbar and tearing down the wall.
Back in the flashback, when someone tried to give Daichi the crowbar, she didn't take it, saying that she wants to go through the process carefully so that she doesn't mess anything up. This is symbolic of her current situation with her parents. She wants to tell her parents that she's gay at some point, but she's not ready yet. And not because she isn't ready herself, but because she doesn't think that her parents live in a society that will accept her. So she walks through the process carefully. Someone is like, screw that, and starts to tear down the wall. She tells Daichi that of course there's a process in some things, but if you're going to tear down the wall anyway, why not just do it now? And if things don't work out, at least some air got in, and she can deal with the rest of the stuff later. It's someone telling Daichi that it isn't healthy or fair to keep herself hidden from the rest of the world just because society just isn't ready yet. So just come out and get it over with. And if it all goes to shit, at least it's out there now, and she isn't bottling it all up inside anymore before it goes spilling out, she can deal with all that hardship later. Someone is telling Daichi that she shouldn't base her coming out of the closet on what other people think. Daichi should just do it whenever she wants to. So Daichi takes the crowbar from someone and aggressively tears the walls down, letting out all of her emotions and anger onto it, tearing down the ignorant society so that she can be free to come out to her parents that she's gay whenever she wants to, which we do see her end up doing, this allowing her to go out with Saiki and create the lounge.
And as we just saw, Tatsuku gets his own crowbar scene. However, though it's also symbolic of him coming out of the closet, it's a lot different than how Daichi did it.
Tatsuku wants to come out like Daichi did, aggressively and letting everything out, but the crowbar seems too heavy for him, and he starts to shake. Seeing this, Daichi knows that this isn't the way to come out of the closet for Tatsuku, so she offers him another way, to come out slowly, piece by piece, step by step. Tatsuku is younger than Daichi was when she came out as gay, and not confident in her sexuality like she was. Tatsuku needs to take the process slowly, at the pace that he is able to. But Tatsuku has people who can listen to him now. People who he can talk to about it. People like him. In a safe space where he can learn to be the person that he's been hiding from both the world and himself.
Coming out of the closet isn't easy. Sometimes you just need to break it down without any hesitation to just get it all out there. Or you need to take it step by step, slowly but surely, to become the person that you want to be. And I think that's something that Tatsuku can do.
I've been so immature, timid, and unsure of myself. But I felt strongly that I didn't have to kill myself. Here at someone's lounge on top of the hot stone of August. Yeah, it's gonna take time, and it might be difficult along the way. But I think Tatsuku will be fine. Hey, you're in my way. So then, you are gay after all. Tatsuku-san. Then again, you never know who you're going to come across in this harsh and difficult world.
Despite its somewhat slow beginning, this first volume is goddamn fantastic.
And yes, truthfully, the first 2 chapters are a little slow, but purposefully for a story like this. We slowly get to know who our main protagonist Tatsuku is, and the trials that he's going through. And a lot of it is done through visual storytelling, like his crush on Tsubaki. But the pacing can get a little slow at times, though it really picks up when we get introduced to some of the occupants of the lounge, especially Daichi, the only one we've truly gotten to know yet. But it's clear in this first volume that we'll soon learn about the other characters as well.
And honestly, my critique of the slow pacing is just really nitpicking. The slow pace in the beginning is 100% purposeful, just something that I happen to notice. Besides that, though, from its first volume alone, Our Dreams at Dusk easily sets itself up as a Diverse queer piece that covers different people's experiences in modern day Japan.
Already, we have lots of different and unique queer characters. Tatsuku being a young gay boy struggling to stay alive in high school, Daichi and Saiki and their desire to get married while also worrying about how the outside world will judge them, and of course, someone whose whole thing we'll get to know more about as the manga continues. Speaking of which, even though she isn't my favorite, someone stands out as a truly unique character, not really seen before anywhere else. From the first time we see her, jumping out of her window and flying into the distance, she's a mysterious character that we want to know more about. But the more we try to, just like Tatsuku tries to, she becomes more and more mysterious. She seems to exist in the world, and also not at all, as if she's able to travel through it however she feels. She also seems like a character who's been through a lot and has found her place in the world.
What all that means for her character and her place in the story will have to be seen throughout the rest of the manga.
The art, as I mentioned before, is also fantastic. The backgrounds are nice and detailed. The visual storytelling that is used is not only really beautiful, but helps capture the character's emotions and current thoughts all in one drawing. The imagery, while fantastical, feels rooted in reality. The writing is also realistic, making the characters relatable in the different struggles that they individually go through. So far, it's just with Tatsuku, Daichi, and a little bit of Saiki, but trust me when I say that the rest of the characters are just as realistic and relatable as those three.
Everyone who reads this is going to relate with one or two specific characters, my character being Utsumi, as we'll see when we enter the third volume later this year. It's a realistic and believable story of queer hardships in Japan, using different gender identities and sexualities to tell us different and unique stories. And I can't wait to see what else Our Dreams at Dusk brings to the table. Thank you so much for celebrating another Pride Month with me, and I'll see you all next year.